All right, hello everyone. This is the first time I've ever tried to make a video about yoga, so I'm not entirely sure how this is going to go, but we'll see. My name is Rusty. We're going to be going through doing my beginner yoga class. It'll be about an hour once we get started. But I mean, it's recorded, so you'll be able to pause it and jump back to it whenever you're ready. So a couple of things before we get started as far as equipment goes. All of the equipment is entirely optional. If you don't have it, don't worry. You don't have to go out and get it. But a mat, a lot of people have it. Can provide some extra grip on the floor, depending on what kind of surface you're doing this on. Also, some people just don't like to lay on the floor. They like to lay on something. But again, it's entirely optional. Block. Those can be super handy, but again, if you don't have them, you can figure out other things to use, either like books, stack up some books, or maybe like some wooden boxes. If you don't have them, again, you can always just like see how I'm going to use them in a pose and then pause it, find something that will work, and then come back. The other thing is a strap. And this is just a cloth one. It came with my yoga mat and my blocks. But again, if you don't have one, I wouldn't go out and get one right now. Maybe after all the Corona stuff is over. But you can just use like a belt or a towel, a dish towel, or a bath towel, or just a strip of cloth, something. Other announcements, not announcements. Wow, I am in class mode. Other things, yoga shouldn't hurt. If anything that we do, that you do while watching this video hurts, please stop. Absolutely stop. Take a break. And if you need to take a break at any point, take a break. Grab a drink, towel off, whatever it is you need to do. I'm not going to stop anywhere, anytime during class for a water break. So again, feel free to take one as you need to. Challenge yourself, but do listen to your body and please take care of yourself. There's hundreds of ways to do every pose that we do. So if you need to modify the pose and you know how to do so, totally feel free to do it as well. If you need a modification, because this is a recorded video and there's no back and forth, send me a message, however you know me, through Facebook, email, text, in the comments section maybe, and we'll try to work through that and find a modification for you. So yeah, like I said, it shouldn't hurt. If it does hurt, please stop. I can't emphasize that enough. Take breaks as you need to. Yeah, so with all of that, go ahead and grab a comfortable seated position. Get the music started. That can be sitting cross-legged. I like to sit on my shins. I'm sitting on a block, actually, which is really great, especially at the start when you're not quite warmed up yet. But we want to close our eyes, and we want to start to deepen that inhale, and then extend that exhale. So as we inhale, use the diaphragm to pull air into the lungs. And then on the exhale, push all of that air out, making room for new. And as we're slowing down our breathing, we want to try to let go of all the cares and the worries that we have. All of the things that have happened before our yoga practice, let them go. All the things that you have to do afterwards, try to let those go. We just want to be present in the moment. Sometimes it helps to imagine yourself, a big duffel bag, and all the things on your to-do list, all your concerns, putting them in that bag, zipping it shut, and then mentally get up, walk that bag outside of the room or the space that you're doing yoga in, set it down, then come back. It'll be there. You can pick it up later. But just allow yourself to have this time to just just be present in the moment. And on our next exhale, we're going to gently bring that chin down towards our chest. Again, we're still warming up. We don't want to force anything. And then as we inhale, bring that head back to center. Exhale, drop the right ear down to our right shoulder. Trying not to let the shoulder creep up towards the ear. Try to keep them nice and level. As we inhale, head comes back to the center. Exhale, we're going to drop that ear, left ear down towards our left shoulder. And inhale back to center. And then as we exhale, drop that chin down to our chest one more time. Inhale back to center. Open up our eyes. Arms come up overhead, clasping the hands, turning the palms up, pressing them towards the ceiling. Stretching through the spine and both the sides. And as we exhale, arms come straight out from the shoulders, with the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Press up through the palms like you're trying to push the walls away. And then we're going to bring that right arm across the body for the shoulder stretch. Again, don't let that shoulder creep up. And if you'd like to deepen that stretch, again, you can stay here or you can deepen the stretch either by grasping the shoulders or coming into eagle, crossing at the elbows, trying to bring those palms together. You are in eagle, make sure we keep those elbows up and out. And release. Arms go back wide. Point the fingertips towards the ground. Press up through the back of the hands this time. And then fingertips back up. Left arm across the body. Again, keeping the shoulders level. Option to stay here. Or you can grasp the shoulders or come into eagle on the other side. And release. Arms go behind the back. Press that chest forward. Options to deepen this stretch are try to clasp the hands together behind your back or try to bring those palms together. And release. If you are seated cross-legged, change the cross of your legs. And left arm comes up, right arm goes out. Sweep the left arm up and over, keeping those sit bones, your hips, pressed against the mat. Inhale back to center, right arm up, left arm out. Sweep the right arm up and over. Inhale back to center. All right, we're going to come into a gentle twist, remembering that we're still warming up, so we're not going to get super deep into it. So a nice gentle one. But inhale, we're going to press ourselves into the ground, lengthen through the spine, lifting the chest. And once we've lengthened that spine, we're going to gently twist over to the right. One more deep breath. And back to center. Lengthen that spine, lifting the chest again. And then we're going to twist over to the left. And back to center. All right, make your way onto your hands and knees. We want those knees under our hips, wrists under our shoulders. And we're going to take that right foot and we're going to press it straight back. We're trying to get that long, straight line. So we want to keep that foot flexed like this. And option to stay here, or you can bring that left arm up for table balance. Thumb towards the ceiling, palm towards the center. Again, option to stay here, or on your next exhale, you can bring that knee and elbow together, inhaling back long. Do 3 or 4 of those, moving with your breath. Holding long when you're done. And when you're done, hand and knee come back to the mat. And we're going to press that left foot back. Again, trying to get that long, straight line from our shoulder to our hip, out through the heel of our foot. As always, option to stay here or bring the right arm up for table balance. Again, you can just hold this pose, or on your next exhale, bring that knee and elbow together, inhaling long. Again, do 3 or 4, moving with your breath. Hold it long when you're even. And when you're even, hand and knee come back to the mat. As we inhale, we're going to let that belly sink down towards the ground, lifting the head for cow. And on the exhale, we're going to arch that back, pressing our belly button into our spine for cat. Inhaling into cow, exhaling into cat, moving with our breath. And after your next exhale, return to a flat back. And we're going to press our seat back towards our heels for child's pose. Arms can be out in front, or hands can be back by your feet. Child's pose is a resting pose. And if you need to take a break at any point during class, absolutely feel free to come to child's pose. Downward dog is also a resting pose, although I'm not going to lie, a lot of days it doesn't feel like it. But again, you can also just step out of any of the poses if you need a break. And when you're ready, hand and knee, come back up onto your hands and knees. Wrists right under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And then we're going to step those feet back for our first plank. Again, we're looking for that long straight line, so we don't want our butt way up in the air, but we also don't want it sinking down. If you need to modify this, you can come to your knees. Just make sure you're not in the tabletop position. Make sure you rock it forward. Also, make sure we're not locking out our elbows. And then we're going to lift those hips, pressing ourselves back to our first down dog. If you need to bend the knees, that is perfectly fine. It is very important that we keep that back nice and flat. You can deepen it, or you can help stretch those legs by pressing first one foot down and then the other. A lot of people call this walking the dog. Let me shift back around here. And keeping those hands and feet in roughly the same position, we're going to rock it back forward into plank. I have been doing quite a bit of planks. January, I started doing a 30-day plank challenge. That's the last day of it ended up being a 5-minute plank. And I have been continuing to do 5-minute planks during the weekdays anyways. They're still pretty awful, but lift those hips, pressing it back for down dog. Again, walking those feet, trying to loosen up those calves and those hamstrings. And we're going to look between those hands. We're going to step the feet forward. First one, then the other. Standing forward fold. Inhale halfway up, flat back. Exhale fold. Bend the knees, come all the way up, hands overhead, tiny back bend, and then to our heart. All right, again, moving into sun salutations. There we go. Actually, hold on. Moving into sun salutations. This is a modified version. If you have a version that you prefer, absolutely feel free to do so. But we're going to inhale up, exhale, fold. Inhale halfway, again with that flat back. And we're going to take that right foot, we're going to step it straight back for a lunge. Actually, tilt that back again. See, so we're back to this lunge, making sure the knee is not going out in front of the ankle. It is, walk that left foot up. And you can come to a block or 2 blocks if that is more comfortable for you. And then we're going to take the left foot back by the right, chaturanga. So we're first going to come down to our knees, and we're going to use our entire exhale to lower down our chest and then our chin. And we're going to lift, pressing ourselves up into cobra. And we're going to turn those back toes under, lift those hips, pressing it back to down dog. Look between the hands, step, hit forward, inhale halfway, exhale fold, bend the knees, come all the way up, hands to our heart. And other side, inhale up, exhale fold, halfway. Step the left foot back this time. Again, checking that knee and ankle relationship. And if need be, you can be on a block or 2 blocks. And our right foot goes back by the left. Chaturanga. Keep those elbows tucked in close by your ribs. Come down to first the knees. Slow lower down for the chest. And then the chin. Inhale up into cobra. You can use your hands to help push you up, or you can lift your hands up off the mat if you want to add some difficulty to it. Hands back. Lift those hips. Down dog. Look between the hands. Step it forward. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees all the way up. And to our heart. Second set. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Halfway. Step it back with the right foot again. And we're going to bring that right knee down to the mat. Lift ourselves up. Tuck those hips under. Lean into it so we're stretching that right hip flexor. And hands can be on your thigh, or you can bring your arms up. Either way. You can also have them down here in cactus arms or at your heart. And then we're going to bring those hands down, arms down, hands on the ground. Straighten that front leg, pressing our seat back towards our heel, stretching the calf and the hamstring. Carefully rock it back forward. Turn those back toes under. Come back up to the lunge. Left foot goes back by the right. Chaturanga. Knees, chest, and chin. Make sure we use that entire exhale. Lifting ourselves up into cobra. Back toes under. Pressing ourselves back to down dog. Look between the hands. Step it forward. Inhale halfway with a flat back. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, come all the way up. Hands to our heart. And other side. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Halfway. Step it back with the left foot. And left knee comes back to the mat. Lift yourself up. Tuck your hips under. Stretch that left hip flexor. And arms down, hands on the ground. Straighten that front leg. Pressing your seat back towards your heel. Carefully rock it forward. Turn those back toes under. Right foot goes back by the left. Chaturanga. Knees, chest, and chin. Inhale up into cobra. Exhale, down dog. Look between the hands. Step it forward. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Always bend the knees, come all the way up. Hands overhead, tiny back bend, and into our heart. And last set, inhale up, exhale, fold. Halfway, step the right foot back. And this time, we're going to bring that right hand to the inside of the left foot, either on the mat or on a block. Keep that chest lifted. Sweep the left arm up, opening that chest up to the left. Making sure we're not letting this knee fall out to the side. Keep it pulled in. And hand down. Set the block over on the other side. The left foot goes back. Chaturanga, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale up into cobra. And exhale, down dog. Look between the hands. Step it forward. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, come all the way up. Hands to our heart. Boy, I'm not doing a good job keeping myself in camera. Sorry about that. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Halfway. Step it back with the left foot. Again, left hand to the inside of the right, either on a block or on a mat. Sweep the right arm up. Opening that chest up to the right. Again, not letting that knee fall out to the side. Hand comes back to the mat. Set the block off to the side. Right foot goes back by the left. Chaturanga, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale up into cobra. Hands on the mat or off. Lift those hips, pressing it back to down dog. Look between the hands. Step it forward. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Hands to our heart. All right, moving on to standing poses. So we're just going to step into them, typically how I do it in my beginner class. So we're going to make our way to the front of the mat. And we're going to get in mountain pose or Tadasana. So we want to evenly distribute the weight in our feet. So rock it side to side, front to back. Make sure we've got a slight bend in our knees. We never want to lock them out. We're looking to get a straight line from our ankle to our knees, to our hips, to our shoulders, to our ears. Hands at our sides, palms towards the center. Tadasana or mountain pose. From here, we're going to take that right foot. We're going to step it straight back, pointing those toes at no more than a 45-degree angle. Put a bend in the left knee, engage the left thigh. And we're going to sweep the arms up, scooping the shoulder blades forward. Warrior one, Virabhadrasana 1. Now, if the arms up here isn't comfortable for you, you can come down to cactus arms. Bring your hands to your heart. You can have them down at your hips. Whatever feels good for you. Almost lost my balance there. Remember to breathe. Try to slow down that breathing again. We're going to bring our hands to our heart. We're going to take the back foot and we're going to open it up so that it's parallel with the short end of our mat. All right, so it's going to go this way instead of this way. Again, keep a strong bend in that left knee, left thigh engaged. Shoulders go right above the hips. Arms come straight out from the shoulders. We're going to take the head, turn and look at those left fingertips. Take a quick peek down. Make sure you can see your left big toe. If you cannot, rotate that left thigh to the outside. Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Again, try to keep those arms straight out from the shoulders. Almost there. One more deep breath. We're going to flip those palms up. Right arm comes down the right thigh. Left arm sweeps up and over, keeping that strong bend in the left knee. Reverse warrior. All right. Almost there. One more deep breath. Now we're going to transition into reverse. We're in reverse warrior. We're going to go to side angle. So we're going to take that right arm, it sweeps up and over as we bring the left elbow just above the left knee. Right hand points towards the front. Imagine, point those fingers at the area where the wall and the ceiling meet. Again, try to keep that chest open up to the left. Side angle. Remember to breathe, holding your breath never makes this easier. Also, I hope the music is coming through. This is my Disney playlist that I do in my yoga class. I've got about 7 themed playlists that I like to use. All right, and as we sweep the right arm back, use that core strength to pull yourself up and heel toe it in. Check those legs out. Got a musical one that's a lot of fun. I've got one from just Star Wars music. So I definitely encourage you when the gyms open back up, come see me in class. So now we got to do all of that on the other side. So back into mountain pose or Tadasana. So evenly distribute that weight. Don't let those knees lock out. Check, make sure you've got that straight line. And then left foot comes straight back. Again, toes point at a 45-degree angle. Lift those arms up. Warrior one. And try to come back to that slow, steady breathing that we had at the start of class. And arms come down to our heart. Open that back foot up. Again, strong bend in the right knee. Right thigh's engaged and it's rotated out to the right. Shoulders right above the hips. Arms come straight out. And turn just the head. Look at the right fingertips. Warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. Also, again, the knee should not be going out in front of the ankle in this pose. If it is, walk that right foot forward a little more. If you need to make this pose harder, try to put a deeper bend in that knee. At one point, I almost got it to 90 degrees, but gets really tough on you. And flip the palms up. Left hand down that left thigh. Right arm sweeps up and over. Reverse warrior. And feel free to look wherever is comfortable. For some people, that's down at the ground, out to the side, or depending on your neck, you can maybe turn the head up and look at that palm. Entirely up to you. Again, challenge yourself, but listen to your body. Please take care of yourself. And again, if anything hurts, stop. Take a break, pause the video, jump back in when you feel ready. And moving into side angle. Right elbow just above the right knee, left arm sweeps up and over. Point those fingers where the wall and the ceiling meet, keeping that chest open to the left. All right, almost there. One more deep breath. Use that core to lift yourself back up. All right, we're going to keep those feet wide. We're going to point all those toes straight out in front of us. We've got a wall right here, so I had to flip around. So we're trying to keep, again, slight bend in our knees. Trying to keep a straight line here. Hands at our hips. We're going to start to hinge forward, keeping that back flat. Stopping when we are parallel with the floor. Deep breaths. And you can keep your hands here. You can bring those hands to the heart. Bring them straight out to the side. Or the most challenging, bring them out in front. One more deep breath, and then we're going to release it all the way down, either onto a block, if that's where your level of flexibility is, or all the way to the mat. You can even bring those hands underneath if you need to come down a little more. And we're going to sweep those hands over towards our right foot, trying to touch our chest to that right thigh. Carefully slide those hands back to the middle. Now what we do to one side, we've got to do to the other. So slide them over to the left. Again, trying to touch that chest to the left thigh. I don't even get close. It's okay. Back to the center. Put a bend in those knees. Squeeze those glutes to help pull yourself back up. And heel toe it in. Check those feet out. All right, we're going to do some balance work. So we're going to do tree and then we're going to do pencil. If your balance is real shaky, find a wall to help support you. And no, we'll be good here. Okay, so again, back into mountain pose. Knock those feet side to side, front to back, evenly distribute that weight. Again, don't lock the knees out. Always have a slight bend in them. Deep breath. Then we're going to shift all that weight into the left foot. And then you can either come up on the right toes, or you can bring those right toes into a block. Bring that foot to your ankle, up to your calf. If you have the flexibility, you can bring it above the knee. Never put sideways pressure on the knee. The joint's not designed to handle that. But we want to try to get that right knee straight out to the side. You can have your hands at your heart. You can have your arms up. And again, I've got a wall right here, but you can have your arms out to the side. Typically, the further away from the center line of your body your hands and arms are, the harder this is going to be. It also helps to pick a point on the floor a couple feet in front of you to stare at and focus on. Just something that's not moving. The wobbles are very much like the yawns. They're super contagious. So when you watch me and I start wobbling, you're going to wobble. So if you want to make this more challenging, you can look straight ahead. You can point your head up. And then the most challenging is to try to close your eyes. I'm not going to try it because I will fall and I'll bounce off this wall here. And I would prefer not to have to try to learn how to edit that out of a video. So, all right, almost there. And we're going to bring that right knee around to the front, trying not to touch that foot to the ground, but it's okay if you do. We're going to reach down, grab the right toes, pull that leg back, keeping our knees together, pressing that right hip forward. Left arm comes up, pencil. And if you want to modify this and make it more challenging, or if you've just got really good balance, and start to lean it forward into dancer, trying to keep those hips and chest parallel to the floor, because a lot of people have tendency to want to open it up. That's not really so much a beginner move, and I don't normally talk about it in my beginner class, but it's totally an option. Let go, shake those legs out. All right, we're going to do all that on the other side. So, back into mountain pose, Tadasana. Feet side to side, front to back. And make sure we got a bend in that right knee because we want the muscles to do the work, not the joint. Shift all that weight over into our right foot. Again, come up on the left toes, put that left foot on the block, foot at the ankle, calf above the knee, but again, no sideways pressure on the knee. Trying to get that left knee pointing straight out to the side. Hands at our heart, arms up or out to the side. You know what? If you are kind of wobbly, it's okay because we're in Kansas. Well, I'm in Kansas and we have a lot of wind, so the trees blow and sway. So you're just a windy tree. It's totally fine. Balance is one of those things, if you don't specifically work on it, it doesn't get any better. Um, so if you see me out in like the real world, not like in the gym or on the video, and I'm standing in line, I'm very seldom on both feet. Like I'll normally have one foot picked up, even if I just bring it to my ankle. Um, because when I started doing yoga, my balance was awful. There was no way I could hold tree pose for an entire minute, like we're doing. And it's just something I worked on. I worked on it every day because at the time I was doing a lot of testing and was having to at the lab and standing, so I was just always on one foot. All right, trying to bring that left knee around to the front, again without touching the foot, but it's okay if you do. Grab those left toes, knees together, press that left hip forward, pencil. I may have to try to do this do my intermediate class, do that video in a different room. There's just not a lot of space in here. I thought there would be, but with the laptop and all, not so much. Again, remember to breathe. I just caught myself holding my breath, but breathing is very important. All right, when you feel even, shake it out. All right, and inhale up, exhale, fold. Standing forward fold. We're gonna hang here for a moment so you can let those hands rest on a block, on the mat, or you can grab your elbows and just let gravity maybe pull you just a little deeper into the pose. You can gently sway side to side. This standing forward fold is a restorative pose. It's an energizing pose, so excuse me. All right, let go of those elbows. Inhale halfway up, exhale, fold. Bend the knees, come all the way up, hands overhead, tiny back bend. And then as those hands come to the heart, we're gonna press ourselves back into chair pose. Try to keep those knees together, pressing that seat back, making sure the knees stay behind the toes. Hands can be at your heart, or they can go out in front. Breathe. The lower you get, the more of a leg work you're gonna get. Challenge yourself, but do take care of yourself. Listen to your body. And release. Tiny back bend. And then we're going to come right back into it again. See if you can maybe go just a little bit lower this time. And release. All right, shake it out. Okay, we're going to make our way down to a seated position on the mat. So if you've got a strap, this would be the time for it. Right leg goes long, left leg comes in. I can never remember what this pose is called, but a lot of people call it a runner stretch. But a lot of people do it wrong. They think the important thing is to reach the feet, but it's actually more important to keep your back straight and flat and to hinge forward in the hips. So that's what the strap is for. You can put it around the base of the foot and use that to help walk you down, to help you keep that back flat. If you have no problem reaching your toes and you need to make it harder, you can take your block, set it to the sole of the feet, and then try to reach around. I'm not going to do that today. Some days I can, some days I can't, but I'm out of breath. All right, so we're going to straighten that spine, lift the chest, return, point the chest at that right foot, arms come up, and again, keeping the back flat. We're going to hinge forward, reaching for those toes. Again, you can stop at the shin, or you can use the strap to pull you down. On the inhale, we're going to think about lifting that chest to help keep that back flat. On the exhale, we're going to try to hinge forward just a little more in those hips. See if we can get a little deeper into the pose. This is a point where I like to reiterate, yoga shouldn't hurt. If it does, absolutely please stop. However, if you are working on increasing your flexibility, you should be a little uncomfortable. If you're never uncomfortable, you're never going to increase your flexibility or your range of motion. But again, it shouldn't hurt. So make sure you know the difference between the two, because sometimes they feel pretty close to each other. Almost there. One more deep breath and release. All right, we're going to keep that right foot long. We're going to bring that left knee up, and you can stay here, or you can bring the left foot over the right. Again, we're coming into a twist, and there's always 3 parts to a twist. The first is to root yourself into the mat or the ground. Second is to lengthen the spine. And then the third part is to actually twist. So we're going to take our right elbow, bring it to the outside of the left knee, again, keeping the back flat. We're going to try to turn our head and look back over that left shoulder. This is half Lord of the Fishes. I also like to call it the senior portrait pose, because I absolutely had a senior picture where I was in a very similar pose to this. And release. So to come out of this, it's the exact opposite of how we got into it. So we're gonna first untwist. We're gonna uncross the leg. Give them a quick shake. Left foot goes out in front. Again, if you need the strap, go ahead and put it around that left foot. Lengthen through the spine. Turn that chest towards the left foot. Arms up. And back flat, hinge forward. Or pull yourself down the strap. So typically, you'll find one side's a lot tighter than the other, or it's a lot easier to balance on one side than the other. That's totally normal. Another thing, we're holding these poses specifically for quite a while. So it's a good idea to check in with your body after a little bit when you're holding a pose to see if those muscles have relaxed. See if you can come just a little deeper into the pose. Another nice trick is to very briefly and smoothly come out of the pose and then immediately go back into it. The idea behind that is as you release, all your muscles will relax, and then you simply slide back into the pose before they have a chance to tense up again. Just make sure you're not like being super jerky about it. We're looking for a nice, smooth, controlled motion. I'm starting to run out of breath because I'm talking too much. Almost there. One more deep breath and release. All right, left leg stays long, right knee comes up. Same options as before. You can totally stay here. We can cross that right foot over, but we want to root ourselves into the mat, lengthen through the spine, left elbow, the outside of the right knee, and twist. Half Lord of the Fishes. And release. Untwist. Uncross the legs. Give them a shake. Both feet out in front. And we're going to do that same thing. Arms up. So again, you can take the strap around the base of the feet. Arms up, flat back, hinge forward. Reach for those toes. Again, we're pulling against both hamstrings this time, so you're probably not going to be able to get quite as deep as what you were just able to do. But again, remember to lift the chest on the inhale. On the exhale, try to hinge forward just a little more. Typically for me, after I breathe 2 or 3 times, it's just a thought exercise. But it does really help to keep that back nice and flat. And we're getting close. Bear with me. Again, if you need to take a break, please take a break. The advantage of doing this over video is you can pause it and come back to it later. And release. Shake those legs. All right, we're going to bring the soles of those feet together for cobbler pose, Adho Konasana, also butterfly pose. If your hips are really tight, or if your knees are up really high like mine are, you can always take a block and sit on it. It helps, but again, block is optional. I'm going to try to get those heels as close to your seat as we can get. And imagine my hands here are your feet. We're going to press the outer edge of the soles together and try to open up the tops like it's a book that we're going to read. I can only get just a little ways with my feet, but it definitely will deepen that stretch in the hips. We want to make sure we keep that chest lifted tall. And press the soles of the feet together. Grab the toes. Again, flat back, lead with the chest. Lean forward for bound angle. Again, for a lot of people, this is a very small motion. But again, it changes the stretch, how it feels way down in those hips. And release. All right, so we're going to get a little ab work in. We're going to come into boat pose. So, feet out in front. Option 1, hands down by your side. Option 2, arms come straight out. And option 3, they'll be up by your ears. Obviously, option 3 is going to be a lot harder than option 1. So find where you're comfortable and work with that. But we're going to rock it back, finding that balance point, lifting those heels up off the mat. Core engaged and a flat back. So again, arms up here is going to be more challenging. You can also try to straighten those legs. You need to make this more difficult. And you can even get fancy with it and drop one heel down and then the other. If you need to take a break, you can always grab behind those knees. It'll take a lot of the pressure off your core, but it'll still keep them engaged. And there's nothing wrong with kicking it up a level for just a couple of breaths, trying it out, and then coming back down to another one, perfectly fine. Again, challenge yourself, that's how you improve. And release. Right, so legs out straight. We're going to slowly lower ourselves down, one vertebrae at a time. Slowly and with control. All right, when we're all the way down, we're going to plant those feet just a little bit wider than hip width apart. We're going to take that left ankle, cross it just above the right knee. We're going to keep those feet flexed. Pull that right leg in for the figure 4 stretch. And left foot stays up, right foot comes back to the ground. Keep the shoulder blades pressed against the mat. And we're going to drop everything down to the right, coming up on that right hip. And carefully bring everything back to the center. Uncross those legs. Left foot to the ground, right ankle just above the left knee. Feet flexed. Pull that left leg in. Yes, I know, I'm a grown man. I have trouble telling my right and left apart. I have literally in class done this thing with my hands and still gotten it wrong. If nothing else, you should come see me in class just to be entertained with the goofiness that ensues. Right leg stays up, left leg comes back to the ground. Again, shoulder blades stay pressed against the mat as we drop everything down to the left, coming up on that left hip. And carefully bring it all back to the center. Uncross those legs. Left leg goes out long. Right knee comes in for pump. Again, feet flexed. And right leg goes long. Left knee comes in. And pull both knees in. We're going to gently rock it side to side, giving that lower back a gentle massage. We're going to rotate those knees in a circle. Go the other way. All right, so we're going to come into Happy Baby. So we're going to grab the outer soles of the feet, and then we're going to pull those feet up so they're parallel with the ceiling. We're going to try to bring those knees down by our rib cage. Or if there are any other poses you would like to do before we get into Shavasana, feel free to do so now. And when you're ready, legs out straight, arms overhead, full body stretch. And then those hands come down by our side, palms up. Let the feet fall where they may. Close your eyes. Unclench your jaw. And just let yourself melt into the floor. Start to bring your awareness back into the room. Find small motions in your fingers and your toes. Gently put a bend in your knees and roll yourself onto your right side, cradling your head. When you're ready, make your way to a seated position. We bring our hands to our forehead to remind us to view others and ourselves through a lens of grace and forgiveness. We bring our hands to our mouth to remind us to speak kindness and be quiet to listen. We bring our hands to our chest to remind us to greet each moment with an open heart and profound gratitude. Namaste. All right. I would like to thank all of you for allowing me to guide your yoga practice today. A special thank you to Jen and Katie. Jen for organizing the cool thing she did on Facebook, and for her and Katie to encourage me to do this. It felt very odd, but I rather enjoyed it. And since I'm not going to be teaching for a while with the gyms shut down, this is kind of a cool way, a neat way to do that. I am going to, in the next couple days, have my intermediate class videoed and hopefully uploaded. Oh, I hope that works. Haven't ever done that before. So please make sure you drink lots of water. It's just super important to stay hydrated, but especially after you go through and do a bunch of stretching, just like we did. Again, if you have any questions about any of the poses or any modifications, do please reach out to me. I will try to get you help. I will try to help you out as best that I can. So with that, have a wonderful day.